YouTube, what is up? It is your boy Pretty Boy Floyd, and today's video is a way different video. This is something that it's something that I'm new to, and it's something I've never done before. But hey, I took on this project, man. I wanted to share it with you guys, and also I wanted to be inspiration for you guys out there that might have an apartment, you're renting out a house, anything like that, and you really like hardwood floors. So the title of the video is renter friendly hardwood floors. So basically all I did was I put hardwood floors on top of carpet. Now it sounds very simple, but executing it is actually very hard. I've never laid hardwood floors. I took a wood shop class in 6th grade for like a year, and that's the only like woodworking experience that I have, is just like making like a wooden basket in 6th grade. So I'm relatively new to this, and this was quite the challenge. It took me a total of 4 days. I watched a couple of videos on YouTube of other people doing this, but I found out like as I was doing it, like there's a lot of shit that they didn't tell you, and I want to be that person like to tell you guys, and I want to show you guys like my mistakes that I've been through and all that, so that I can help you guys out, even if you're a beginner like me who's never like touched the chains. I mean, I've touched chainsaws and cut wood and done that, but like not like in a skillful way, not for like a purpose. Like I said, 6th grade, I was 12. That was like 12 years ago when I made a wooden basket. That's the only thing that I have. That's the only experience that I have. So this video is a beginner friendly guide to installing hardwood floors on top of carpet. So let's get into it. There's, it's not really my room. I mean, I still live with my mom, but this is technically my studio room. She hates it when I call it the stew. She hates it when I call it that. But yeah, in the stew, it is a 12 by 12 foot room. It's not a perfect square. It does have like a little cut at the end, and I can draw a little diagram of what my room looks like from like a bird's eye view. I'm gonna read off the shopping list if you guys want to go and do the same thing that I did. So let's go down a shopping list. So number 1, get hardwood floors. I needed about 10 packs of hardwood floors. Only 7 planks came in a pack. So 7 times 10, about 70 planks. And a lot of those planks, you'll notice that, like, at least for me, I had to throw a lot of them out because I kept fucking up. But also, when you're staggering hardwood floors, a lot of them are going to be scrap pieces and trash, but we'll get into that later. The second thing that you'll need is a U-Haul truck. Now, you don't need a U-Haul truck if you have a pickup truck or any kind of truck that will carry the plywood, because this plywood is 8 feet by 4 feet, so it's pretty big and it cannot fit in my mini Versa, my little smart car Versa, in my hybrid car. So yeah, if you're like me, you got a small car. Alright, so next thing that you're going to need is plywood. You're going to need 6 sheets of plywood. I got 8 feet by 4 feet pieces of plywood. I got the cheapest kind, which was a $13 one. You really need to find the flattest and the most sturdiest piece of plywood. Now, I know that the $13 might not be the flattest and sturdiest, but my hardwood floors, they look pretty good and they're very stable. Just make sure like it's not like super thin or anything like that. Like you do want it to be the most, let's put it like this. You want it to be the flattest and sturdiest pieces of plywood that you can afford. I got the cheapest ones, which were about $13, $14. And according to your budget, you can do as you would like, but I had no problems with the cheapest plywood that they had, which was $13 or so. Next thing that you're gonna need is a utility knife. Now, like I said, I don't have any tools in my house, any power tools or anything like that. I don't even think I have I don't even have a hammer. So like I had to buy a lot of these supplies on my own. So utility knife, that's just gonna be like when you're cutting the duct tape and other things that you might need it for. But it came in handy a little bit. So double-sided wall tape. Now I got this Scotch double-sided mountain tape. I'll post a picture of it on the screen right now. And it was about $20 for how many feet? I think it was about 30 feet for $20 at Home Depot. So I'm gonna post a picture right there, and all the material list and everything will be down in the description below too, at y'all's convenience as well. So if you don't you know, get what I'm saying right now, I'll even post like links to certain items if I can find them for you guys. The thing that you're gonna need is wood glue. Next thing you're gonna need is a circular saw. And if you can afford it, a reciprocating saw is pretty good too when you're cutting the corners and edges. And I'll talk about that later in the video. The next thing is quarter rounds. These are gonna hide the edges where like you're gonna notice that like on the edge where you place the where the planks are, you're like gonna be left with like a half inch, like a quarter to a half an inch gap, which is good. They say that you're supposed to do that to allow for movement and whatnot. But to be honest, it's kind of like to cover up for error a little bit. So there's gonna be some gaps at the ends, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't perfectly cut, you know, wood planks like that. So quarter rounds are definitely good and it makes it look very clean and professional. You look at your houses that have hardwood floors in them, they're gonna have quarter rounds, and that usually hides that gap and it makes it look pretty good too. And then to finish it off, you are going to need a reducer. So you're going to need a reducer because when you place these hardwood floors, they're going to be about an inch off the ground. You lay down all your hardwood floors. This is where the reducer comes in. You're going to put that in between the doorway, and that is going to count as a divider between your hardwood floors and your carpet, or for me, it was hardwood floor and another hardwood floor, but tool is optional. It's another saw. It's called a miter saw. And all I did was I just rented it from Home Depot. Home Depot, you can rent power tools for about 4 hours for $21 or so. And I think after tax and after damage protection, it was about $30. The miter saw, it comes in handy. It's optional. If you have it, great. If you don't, I would just rent it from Home Depot because it's good for cutting those corner rounds, and you're gonna see later in the video when it comes to like the corners where your wall meets in your room, it's gonna be very difficult for you to flush those quarter rounds, but I'll talk about that later. Okay, so before you guys get started, the first thing that you want to do is remove all the doors. That hardwood floor is not gonna fit underneath those doors, and later you're gonna have to cut that door or those doors. So removing all the doors, putting them somewhere, and then when everything is finished, then you put the doors back on. Day one, this is what I did. I laid down the plywood as much as I could without cutting it. And then this is when I noticed, okay, I need a circular saw, or I need a saw because this isn't gonna work out. Because at first, I thought the utility knife could cut it, but it couldn't cut it. So I was just like, fuck, I need to go to Walmart. So I got the cheapest saw from Walmart. It was like $50, I think, and it was just a circular saw. And I was a little scared because I never, you know, cut wood. I mean, technically I have, but it's been so long. So I took the plywood, laid it on top of my computer desk, and I clamped it, and I just drew a straight line and just cut it. And I just did that with all the plywood. I just laid it on the floor. I marked it to make sure that it could fit in the space that I needed it to, and then I did that. Now when it came to the corner and the doorway was where I had to do some problem solving. I was like, am I gonna have to like cut like a whole piece that has like all these like jagged and like abstract shapes and shit? Like what am I gonna do? And what I found best whenever you have like a difficult doorway space like that or difficult corners is best to just cut little pieces or get scrap pieces of that plywood and put them next to each other and tape them. And I found that that's what works best with those corner pieces and stuff, because that room wasn't a perfect square, you know, like this room, this is a perfect square, but like that one, it kind of like cut off, and it was just weird. So day two, man, this was right after all the plywood was done, and when I tell you it took a whole day for me to lay down the plywood, it took a whole day. And every day that I say, it took a whole day. Like, it took literally 8 to 12 hours of me getting up, going downstairs, and working on that damn floor for 4 days. 4 days. Freaking, so never laid down plywood before in my life. So I thought that at first, so this is mistake number one. You can't just lay down planks, like full planks, you know? And then I was just like, and then I figured that out like, after like the third row, right? I did all, like I was doing math and shit. I was like, well, I got 9 packs of hardwood floor with 7 planks. My room's 12 by 12, so I got enough planks to put it in. You know, I thought I was a goddamn genius. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here like, man, I got this shit down to a science. Then my mom started walking on it. She's just like, hey, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So.
You know what? I wonder if it's doing that because it's not static.
That's not right up on it.
It don't look temporary. It don't look temporary, but it is. Oh, AJ, look.
Back up.
Well, I wouldn't give him credit yet. He's having problems getting them to stay. Look, AJ. We'll see that. Right?
Well, I mean, when you walk on it.
No, but look what you just did. Look.
What?
Look.
I really think it's because they're not all in there.
Okay, you're saying once you get them all in, you think it's like this part? Look at this. Look.
I think I should just take it apart and stagger it. Because I feel a lazy man's work is twice as hard.
You're right. Because you got to go through the whole thing and then it ain't all work.
Lazy man's work is twice as hard. So.
Okay, he's got to start over.
So I started getting frustrated because then I was just like, well, like whenever I look at hardwood floor, it's not just like this straight line. The lines are usually like scattered, and then I figured out the term staggered. So I thought so then I started like, okay, well, I guess like I'll just put one plank over here and then this one a little bit further and that one further. And then like, man, I fucked up like 3 or 4 times. And I had to rip up I didn't rip it up, but I had to take out the hardwood floor again, start all over, start from ground zero. And then I started doing it. Then I was just like, well, maybe if I just randomly cut the hardwood floor and then just lay it down, that'll do it. That worked for a little bit, but then I started running into like freaking errors again. I was like, man, fuck. The whole day, man. I think I started from like maybe like 7 o'clock in the morning, and at like 4 o'clock, like I was just like taking it out, putting it back in, because I was just like, I am not doing this for no reason. Like I came too damn far for me to just give up. I'm not about to give up. Fuck that. So I'm over here looking up, and then. My mom starts walking on it. She's just like, oh no, it's not locking in. It's not doing this. It's not doing that. And I'm just getting frustrated, dude. So then she calls up one of her friends who works on houses, and then he told me how to correctly stagger hardwood floor. He said, first you go full length, then you go half of that length, then you go half of that length. So basically all you're doing is chopping it up into thirds. So let me break it down to you. So you have one plank, right? You take that one plank, one full plank, put it against the wall, then you take another full wood plank and just keep on connecting those wood planks until you get the edge, until you get to the right side of your room. So full length plank, keep stacking full length planks till you get to the edge of that room. Then you cut off that last plank and fit it. And then the second row, you do half of a plank. And then you do a full plank after half of that plank. Then you keep on putting together full planks until you get to the edge of that room. And then you cut whatever you need to in order to get that hardwood floor to fit to the edge of that room. I know it sounds very complicated, but I promise you, if you're actually doing this, I'm hoping that it helps, just because I didn't know a damn thing about hardwood floors. So, then the third row, this is what happens. Then it's half of that half. So then half of that half, which we calculated was 17 inches, which was 1/3 of the 51-inch plank. So it would go 51 inches for the first row, 34 inches for the second row, then 17 inches for the third row. So then with the third row, what you do is stack up full planks until you get to the end. Then at the last piece, chop it off, fit it to the end, and then you're good. That's your first 3 rows, and you continue that pattern. So yeah, the reason why you want to stagger it is because a lot of times when I was making those mistakes, when I was laying down a plank, they would pop up and they were very unstable. Like they were waving and looking all weird and stuff. So staggering actually is a must. Like you can't, a lazy man's work is twice as hard. That's what I learned like through this whole thing. I just thought that like, oh, I just lay down the plywood, I'll just lay down the hardwood and boom, that's it. You know, I don't care if there's a big line, you know, going through my hardwood floors, you know, I just want to, you know, just lay it down, but it doesn't work like that, you know? So yeah, so you got to stagger it. Another mistake that I had was I actually started at the wrong side of the room. What you want to do is you want to start at a place where it's like a perfect line going all the way across, and save like the door pieces or like the doorway like at the end. Don't start at the doorway and do all that, but you want to start at the most easiest place where like there's no doorways or crazy curves or anything like that. Like you want to start at the most like straightest side of the room. So that's what I had to do. I thought that I could start at the wall that was against the door, and that wasn't gonna work. So then I started at the wall with like the flattest wall, and I know that it sounds complicated, but like I said, when you start doing it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So then after I figured out how to like stagger them correctly, it only took me an hour to get like pretty much like 75% of the room done. And then, I mean, I was already tired, man. It was like 9-10 o'clock at night. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna have to finish it up the next day. So day 3, I went in and I started, you know, finishing it up, and then I started getting to the doorway. So I knew it was late at night, man. I didn't want to mess with that doorway. I knew it was gonna be hell. I was like, how the fuck am I going to cut this shape? And I did it all with a circular saw too. It would be best to cut the corner pieces and these awkward shapes with a reciprocating saw. But I was like, man, I'm not gonna spend any more money. I'm not gonna go out and eat, like, nah, man, we're gonna make this work. So searching up on YouTube, and this British nigga took a piece of paper and he made he taped like 4 sheets of paper on top of a plank, and then like creased it where he like, damn, I'm showing a video of this, I know it because I can't explain it, but he like creased the paper along the plank to like make this like template of a plank. And then what he did was he put it against the wall, and then he folded it to like the desired like angle and shape of the plank. So that came really helpful, man. So I will link that video down below. Any videos that I've referenced will be down in the description below, because those videos really helped me. And yeah, I know it's gonna help you guys too, and you guys don't have to be out as frustrated as I was, man, because that was a big headache. So what you do is, after you make that impression of the plank, you take the piece of paper, you put it against the corner, and then you just start like folding it into the corner, and then you take it back out, and then you cut it. Like you cut wherever like you crease the paper at. And I know this is hard for me to explain, but hopefully I have like a video up here like explaining what I'm talking about. So that really helped. That actually helped a lot. taking that paper and making a template out of the hardwood floors. Another thing that I see a lot of people do is hammering in the hardwood floor. I actually found with this, I don't have to hammer it in. I know maybe it might be best to, but I noticed when I was hammering them in, and I even like hammered it in so like I wasn't like breaking like the lip of the hardwood floor, but like it didn't really matter. And sometimes it could actually like break the connection pieces too. There was a few that I had to like mallet down just because they were like popping up and they just weren't locking together and needed some force. So I did take a mallet and hit the wood a little bit, but I didn't have to do that with every single one. So yeah, and that's the weird thing too. It's like a lot of these wood planks aren't like perfect, you know what I mean? So like some of them hang out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So that's where the wood glue actually came in. So for the planks that were like popping up, and I remembered I figured this out and I saw it like after like I was like 90% done. And I was like, and my mom came in, she was like, "Oh, look at this," and just started, you know, stepping on it and making it pop up and bringing it to my attention. And I knew and I said, watch me finish this hardwood floor and she is not going to stop picking at that plank. And I was like, take it all apart. I was just like, just take it all off and then just start over. Well, I didn't start over from ground zero. That would be crazy. But I started, like I pretty much, it was like halfway through. So I basically just like took it all out and then I put wood glue on the bottom. So then I put that on there and then I took like two 20-pound weights and I weighted down the wood plank on top of that. And then I just started connecting the hardwood floor pieces again, which didn't really take that long just to reconnect them again because they're already like cut, you know what I'm saying? So like it took me like maybe like 5 minutes, you know, like just to like put it back again. So if you see a little problem with like a wood plank like being like slightly up and, you know, and all that, don't worry about like, oh my God, I gotta like start all over, this is gonna take forever. Like, nah, it doesn't, especially when you already like cut all the pieces. Damn, I know I'm talking so much, but again, this is a beginner friendly hardwood floor video, so I just want to cover everything so that you guys don't have to like go through that headache that I had to go through. This was when I started laying down the quarter rounds, and you know, I thought, oh, this is gonna be easy. This is the easy part, man. I can see the finish line from here, right? Nah, hell nah, not yet, man. So it was a little easy. It was definitely easier than a hardwood floor, but man, when it came to like the corners, and then I had to learn about like 90-degree corners, 45-degree corners, and I was just like, what? There's more? I thought like, I noticed that they were like flush together, but like I didn't know that there was like a specific angle to it. So I tried to do it free-handed with the freaking circular saw. It didn't work out too well. So I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to get, you know, like a real saw, you know. So then I had to search up on YouTube like how to cut quarter rounds. This guy was using, you know, the miter saw, and I was like, damn it, I really gotta get that thing. But then I was like, wait a minute, I could just rent it because I'm just doing quarter rounds right now. I don't need it for the whole project. I don't need it anymore, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll link that video down there in the description below too for cutting quarter rounds. But I just went to Home Depot, got a it's not 8 foot, right? No, it's like an 8-inch. I think it's 8-inch miter saw. They have an 8-inch and a 12-inch miter saw. And I got the smallest miter saw, 8 inches. Advertised $20, but I paid $30 for 4 hours, you know, after tax and stuff like that. Freaking, oh, let me tell you why I did it. Again, because my mom came in and I was just like, you know, because I was just like, maybe I can get away with these quarter rounds. Maybe I could just, you know, like put them, you know, like to the side. Maybe I could just like put them next to each other and not make them flush. Maybe it'll look all right. I was just like, Mom, what you think about these quarter rounds? She was like, I don't know. And I was like, damn it. I can't get away with that. I can't. Like, I was just like, I can't. Like, just that voice in my head. It was just like, nigga, don't settle for this shit. So So then that's when I decided, all right, let me get the miter saw. Let me be professional with it, as professional as I can, because even with the miter saw, they still looked a little, you know, iffy, but it was significantly better than what I first had, man, because it was looking like some shit. It definitely looked like some shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, it looked like some shit. So let's hit the miter saw, cut it. So when it comes to 90-degree angles and 45-degree angles, the video is going to explain it. But when you're, you know what a 90-degree angle is, right? Freaking like a straight, just two straight lines coming in like that. And you'll usually see that like in your room, like wherever the flattest wall is. But whenever it comes to like a wall, like how I showed you guys a diagram of my room, you know, it's kind of diagonal. So that's like, instead of it being, you know, straight, now it's like this. Now that's a 45-degree. So at the walls farthest from the door, where the room doesn't curve, I had to do 90-degree quarter angles, or 90-degree quarter rounds for them to meet. Then at the doorway where the walls, instead of you know, coming in straight to cut it off like a square, it's coming in diagonal. So I had to do 45-degree quarter rounds right there. And so when you go to the miter saw, again, bro, just watch the video that I linked down in the description, because he'll explain it better. But so when it comes to the miter saw, this is the confusing part, because when you want to cut 90-degree quarter rounds against the wall, you have to set the miter saw to 45 degrees. And then when you want to cut 45-degree quarter rounds, you have to set the miter saw to 22.5. So it's half of whatever that angled wall is, you know? So damn, I really hope that this shit is helping somebody. Just because I went through a lot. I went through a lot of shit. And then I took the Scotch double mounted wall tape, and here's one mistake that I made with that thing, because that is one expensive ass double-sided wall tape. That is one expensive wall tape. So I thought, let me just you know, take the, like, just let me tape the whole fucking 8-foot quarter round and then stick it on the wall, man. Let me tell you, you probably only need like maybe like 4 or 5 like small rectangular tape pieces of that Scotch wall mount double-sided tape. So you only need to like put it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you only need like 5 pieces, maybe like 2-3 inches long. And just place that all on the 8-foot quarter rounds. You don't need to tape the whole Scotch tape against the quarter round. And another mistake that I made with the quarter rounds was that, like, I thought, well, I'll just cut the Scotch tape in half long ways and then put it on the top side of the quarter rounds and then stick it on the wall. All what happened was the Scotch tape just started sticking to itself. So just take the whole fucking Scotch tape and don't cut it in half or anything like that. Cut like 3-inch pieces of it and then just space them out evenly on the quarter rounds and then stick them to the wall. And that fucking tape is strong, dude. It is strong. It's not gonna rip the paint off your walls or anything like that, but once it's there, it's pretty there. And it does take some force to like kind of pull it out. So your quarter rounds are gonna be pretty secure up there. It's not like some regular gift wrap and double-sided tape. It's like industrial strength tape. It's some strong ass tape. So day 4, I continued the quarter rounds that day, like the first half, just because after, man, I'm telling y'all niggas all the trials and tribulations I faced. I finished the quarter rounds and I'm like, yes, now I can work on the reducer. This is the finishing touch. I can just put on the reducer and I'll be done. You know, my house was looking like a damn construction zone. It's all messed up. All my furniture's out in the living room and in the garage. So with the reducer, I put it like against the you know, the hardwood floor, but then like that shit is that fucking angle, man, that doorway is so weird. So then I like put it on there, and it's this big ass gap from this fucking from a plank that I didn't like cut correctly. You know, and it looked like I cut it correctly, and it looked straight. But then when I put the reducer on, man, and you know, that shit told on me, man. I was like, damn it. So then I had to rip that up, and then I had to rip the quarter rounds that I put over there too. So then I had to do my whole paper template shit and redo that, and then put those on there. Then like, oh, thank God, man, that paper template really helped. Just because like I got it so accurately, man. I don't know what I would do if I did not do that template, man. And I just took the goddamn the reducer. Took the reducer, put it against there, and there's a slight gap, like a little gap, and I didn't have any trouble with it. I didn't have any problem with it until later. I just took some wood putty and I just puttied it, and you know, you can't, it just blends in. Like I just took some putty that was about the color of my hardwood floor, and I just put it in a little gap. It was literally like a damn millimeter wide. Like it wasn't that big of a deal, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna make this shit look nice. I'm gonna make it look good. So that's what I did. So with the reducer, basically what a reducer is that when you have two different levels, right, you have to have a reducer. So typically you would put a reducer like when you're dividing it from carpet to hardwood, but what I was doing was I was dividing it from hardwood to pre-existing hardwood. So there was already like a divider right there. It wasn't a reducer. I don't know. I think it was just a T-molding. I don't know what it's called, but it was already like a wooden divider right there. So I was like, all right, so how am I gonna make this work? Because I probably should have left some carpet there. But anyways, fuck, man, this shit is a headache. Fuck. This is gonna be hard to explain, but and it was hard to explain to my mother too. But if I had to redo it again, I would have probably stopped the hardwood like right before I was about to put it in a door jamb. And I don't even want to talk about it. I just wanted to put that out there in the universe. I don't even want to talk too deep into it as like what I'm trying to explain, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. But I should have probably stopped it right before the door jamb, and then I could have put a reducer right there, and it would be good. But whatever, man. So with the reducer, just took some double-sided Scotch tape, man, and I put that bitch on there. My nigga, I felt so accomplished after that. I was like, damn, I did that. Finally, 4 days. You feel so accomplished, and like, you know, it was crazy. All right, y'all, so I forgot to tell you guys, the last thing that you guys need to do is put those doors back on. So now, of course, your floor is going to be way higher than it was before. Mine was about 1 inch off the floor. Now that's going to vary from place to place, of course. So what I suggest is for you guys to measure from the carpet all the way to the top of that hardwood floor, and then go back to the to your workbench or wherever, clamp down your door, measure 1 inch from above like you guys are seeing me do here, and then take some painter's tape and lay that across the bottom of the door. Now what that painter's tape is going to do is it's going to stop the door from like splinting, so you have a nice smooth line, so like you don't have any like splints or any like jagged edges or anything like that. So mark it 1 inch, place the painter's tape, take your circular saw and go all the way straight. And yeah, that's it, man. And then just redo the doors. As you can see, look, man, I thought I fucked up. Look at this. Look at my dumb ass. Look at this. Look at this idiot. Oh, nigga, you scared me. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank Jesus. Oh, Mama, I thought I cut the door upside down. I said, oh no. So yeah, man, screw the doors back on. Save those screws. Do not lose those screws. Make sure that the door shuts, and that's it. That's it for the doors. After you complete those doors, man, you're done. You're done. It was definitely a challenge for a beginner. I wouldn't. I mean, what am I trying? I would do it. I would definitely. I don't know if I would do it again. I think the day after, like the day that I finished, I was like, man, I don't want to do this shit again. But man, you give yourself a couple of days and you're like, damn, I did that. I think I want to do my bedroom next. You know, and then you start thinking like that, and then you start thinking, man, I want to build a computer desk, cause now you done learned the skill, you done did it all, and you're like, man, I could do anything now, you know, until you know, you fucking, man, my ego definitely got punched. That shit definitely hurt my ego at first, 'cause I was just kept starting over. I kept thinking, man, this is gonna be easy, but nobody said it was gonna be easy though. So, fuck. Another thing with the hardwood floors, which I forgot to mention, was that you have to orient yourself. You have to orient yourself with those hardwood floors. I don't necessarily know how to explain it, but I just want to give you guys a warning before you lay down these hardwood floors that you have to orient yourself. What I mean by that is like that lip that connects to the piece that you just laid down. Make sure that you do not cut that piece off, and make sure that that's the correct size piece. Make sure you do not cut off that piece. Make sure that it is the correct size. So you kind of have to like flip it around. It's very weird, but once you start doing it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And I know all this sounds very complicated, but I promise you, man, if you watch this video that I'm making for you and you try it yourself, you'll get it. You will get it, man. So that's the end of the video. All the material lists will be down in the description below. All the video references will be down in the description below. Equipment, links if I can provide them for you guys down in the description below. And I hope you guys can successfully do this, and I hope some of you guys do this, man. And if you do, tag me on Instagram. My Instagram is up on this screen somewhere, so tag me, man. Let me know if you guys have did it, and if you guys are doing it, I'm not like I will be happy to help you guys. Like if you have any trouble, like saying like, man, how do I get this side, or how do I, you know, do this, how do I do that, and I'll you know, I'll say, oh, that's happened to me before. You got to do this, you know, and I'll help you guys out too. So yeah. So that's it for this video, you guys. Leave a comment down below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.